Hey, this is Ben Solomon, and welcome to this episode of the Techno Leadership Show. In this episode, I want to cover something about building reputation in the organization, with your colleagues, and with the leadership team. Have you ever wondered how some people are able to get their ideas heard, get respect from the people in the organization, and be considered a linchpin of sorts, even if they don't always seem to have the skills in the area that they're meant to have skills? As engineers and technical people, we've normally spent years getting strong in the fundamentals of our craft. We know exactly what to look for, how to problem solve, and fix issues, which is fantastic. But the other side of things is we also need to be able to communicate well, to be able to show the people that we're working with the value that we bring to the organization, how we are helping them do their job better, how we are adding value overall to the organization. A lot of people in the engineering and technical space have that mindset, and I did too for a long time, that my work should speak for itself. And yes, to a large extent it should, but only someone else who is technically adept is going to understand the value of the work that you've done and the amount of effort that you've put into making sure that everything is as it should be. Most others don't have any idea of what we work in, let alone what needs to happen for it to be to standard. So when that happens, how do we bridge that gap? There is a gap that is there because people look at the end result that we create for them. They might use a system that we've put in place. They might utilize the software that we have implemented in the organization, but they don't see all the work that's gone behind it, the research, the development, all the other stuff that's gone on to make sure that their result, the outcome that they see, is top-notch. So what needs to happen in these cases is, as always, communication. Having good relationships with people in the organization means you're constantly sharing, not the details because they don't want the details, but the surface level things, the benefits. What are they going to benefit from all the work that you're doing? That is the thing that needs to constantly be on the forefront. It's where when you see a colleague at a coffee break, you talk to them, find out how they're doing, how things are going, and then ask them questions about issues pertaining to the projects that you're working on. And they could go, hey, look, the software that we have currently to do CRM work is very complicated. And then you can go, that's a fantastic point that you brought up. As you may or may not know, we are already working on a project to replace that so that it's a much easier system. Based on trial that we've run with a pilot test group, it's come out as the best system to replace what we have, and we are working in the behind the scenes to make sure that the implementation goes well. And would you be interested in being one of our early adopters when this system comes in? So I love to bring in people who are skeptics. I like to have a spectrum of people, from the skeptics who believe that all changes are bad, to evangelists who are always there going, what's the next thing? Let's be on the cutting edge. And I bring people from the whole spectrum into my testing, into my interactions, in all aspects. So what happens with this is, when you have the skeptics involved in the selection process, in the testing process, and prototyping, what does happen at the end is, one, they look up to you going, ooh, he's involved me in this process, or she's involved me in this process. And then they feel like they can come and talk to you on a more personal level. It builds a relationship there. And then feedback. They give you feedback on usability that no one else is really going to give. because they're skeptics, they don't like change, and so you want to make change as simple as possible for them. And if you have been able to capture the skeptics, they usually turn to evangelists who go on and shout your praise. And that in and of itself builds your reputation as someone who actually cares about the outcome of everyone in the organization. And when you have that sort of a reputation, people then tend to come to you knowing that you actually care about solving the problem, about giving them the best possible experience in the role that you're in, whether you're the technology manager, engineering manager, or director, or even a technologist. Like even when I was in a tech position, once I had been able to understand it is this communication, bringing people in, giving them a sense of ownership that created a sense of, building a reputation as being someone who cared, as a person who got everyone's input before implementing something that changes the whole way things operated in an organization. So when that happened, people felt a lot more comfortable coming and talking to me and my team and giving us suggestions, being there, giving us feedback, which we could work with to get the outcomes that we were after. If we don't do it, and in my earlier part of my career, I did not, because I thought everything that I did should speak for itself. People think that you're just sitting at the computer doing nothing, or you're just, fiddling with whatever engineering work that you're doing, rather than actually being of value and benefit to the organization, because they don't understand what you're doing and how it affects them and how you are trying to put things in place to make their life easier. Once they understand that, once you communicate that, once you can bring them into your world so that they can benefit from the inputs and the outputs, then they have a tendency to become your evangelists and share to everyone, hey, this person, IT person or engineering staff, engineering manager, is someone who is open and receptive to feedback and is working to actually help us do our jobs better. And that's the kind of thing, reputation that you want to build in an organization where you are approachable, you listen to feedback, and you are constantly working for the benefit of everyone involved. So, takeaways: as much as you're fantastic at your area of expertise, build bridges with the people in the organization. Build relationship with the skeptics. And if you are looking at doing a big project, bring some of the skeptics into the early discussions so that you know what the issue is with the current platform, current systems, whatever it might be. And when you're choosing a replacement, you get buy-in from your hardened skeptics. And when they get a feeling of ownership and get a feeling that you care about their outcomes as well, your reputation increases, the trust that you build increases, and once these hardened skeptics actually become evangelists because they feel a sense of ownership that they have contributed to the solution, they become evangelists who go out there, sing your praises, but more than that, sing the praises of the work that you do and the fact that you actually care about everyone getting the outcome. Because there is a sense that the engineers, the technicians, the technologists just do things their way to make it hard for everybody else. If you don't trust me, actually build relationships with people, talk to them after the fact. If you've been in the same organization for a period of time and you feel like you're doing your best job and no one cares, try these things that I've said. Build that bridge, bring people who are skeptics into your world, give them a sense of ownership, do it for about 6 months or so, and then when you've built a strong enough relationship with them, sit down and ask them, hey, I know we've been able to do all these projects and get these things happening. Let's say like 6 months, year ago, what was your feeling about the technology or engineering team, and even myself, if you are happy to share that feedback. And invariably you'll hear that there was always a feeling of you doing things to make it difficult for them because they didn't understand the benefit of what you're doing. They were not involved in the process. They could not give you feedback. So that is a very important thing, a user-centric focus, but making sure you have participation in that whole process from a whole spectrum of people, not just the ones who are at the cutting edge, but also the hardened skeptics, which means if you can satisfy the hardened skeptics, at the end of the day, you can easily win the hearts of everyone else because they will become your evangelists. You don't have to do any more of the promotion and evangelizing of why the new system is better because they will do it for you. And that is how you impact people, how you influence people, and how you add value to people. So hopefully that helps you out. It's a mindset that completely shifts how we operate. Yes, it might feel like, people are taking more of our time, but the whole reason that we are there is to support them and help them accomplish their outcomes and jobs on a more smoother, quicker, effective manner. So if we can build that relationship, a sense of being the trusted advisor, a sense of being someone who's approachable, then we've done a lot to build our reputation among our colleagues and the leadership team, because these hardened skeptics, once you win them over, they'll go out there to the leadership team and tell them that you need this project to be done and that this person or this team has done a fantastic job and they need to be supported, praised, funding given. I've had instances where the business that I was working for said, no, we can't afford to implement that system because it's way above our budget. And we did the trials, piloting, everything, got a couple of our hardened skeptics who, saw the benefit of it and pretty much went straight to the CEO of the business and said, we need this system, we need to make money for it, no matter what budget it comes from, and get this installed. And was able to get that done. At the same time, even for smaller projects, if you can't get that kind of buy-in where people are supporting you at the leadership table or otherwise, it makes it a lot more harder to be able to get things done. So building that reputation among your colleagues and leadership team helps you in getting your projects done, making sure that things are running as optimally and as effectively as possible, while also having a reputation of people, a team, and personally more approachable and respected, and that you are there for their benefit. Hopefully that helps you out. I wish you all the best in your journey as a tech professional, manager, and leader. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of future episodes as they're released. As things stand, I am going down to doing these shows once a week just because of the busyness that is there, and I don't want to just put content out there. I want to put things out there that are absolutely valuable to you because your time is valuable. I want to take that time and do one proper video show a week that is of value to you, and that's how it's going to progress from now on. It'll be put out on the Wednesday in Australia, which would be late in the evening on Tuesday in the US and Europe. So hopefully that helps you out. I look forward to talking to you in a future episode. Take care and have a good one.